guys, Nate from Richard's Guitar Studio, and today we're going to do a lesson on the CAGED scale pattern 1. So if you're not familiar with the CAGED system, it's actually a really convenient system for learning the fretboard. And I'm going to do a series of lessons where I put together a blog post with all 5. There are 5 of these patterns, and they actually are extremely helpful because if you understand some music theory, or if you learn it eventually, then once you have the major scales down, you also have the minor scales down, and you also have all of the modes down, because all of those things come from the major scale. So it's important to have these things under your fingers and memorized. First is major scales, so that later on you can learn how to reuse them in a minor key or in a mode. But the physical memorization is the first thing, so you can't get to that other abstract stuff until you have something to work with, and that's what we're going to get to now. So the first line of the tabs, go ahead and open up the tabs. You'll need them for the lesson. As always, with Richard's Guitar Studio. So go ahead and open up those tabs. And you'll see the first line is an open position scale. And the CAGED pattern, pattern 1, is around a C chord. So CAGED, C-A-G-E-D, refers to chord shapes, C, A, G, E, and D. And we're going to do the C shape first. So you have the C chord, and you have a scale that's played right around it and on top of it. Alright, and that's where I put that chord there at the end. So you can see that sort of overlaid on top of this scale, of this chord, is this scale that's kind of played around it. So that's the open position scale. I'm not going to go through all the fingers. I don't want to spend that time doing that. Just read the tabs. And what I want you to do is make sure that you're in first position, where anytime there's a 1, it's your first finger. 2 is 2, 3 is 3. So don't move your first finger over to play the second fret or anything like that. If it's a second fret, it gets your second finger. If it's a third fret, it gets your third finger, and so on. That's going to be helpful for positioning later on when you need it. So on the second line, you see how it's very high up the neck now. This is in 12th position, which is the same as open position. So once you learn a chord and scale over here, you can do the same thing over here, just making your first finger a capo. So you can play, if you go to the end of the line, the very last thing on the paper is a C-shaped bar chord, where you have do it like this. So play a C chord, and then rearrange it. Instead of fingers 1, 2, and 3, use fingers 2, 3, and 4. And your first finger is kind of hanging out here. I know it feels awkward, but it's kind of for demonstration purposes. So you take this C up an octave to the 15th fret and try to leave your fingers in that C position. And then you bar the 12th fret. And that is a C chord, just with a capo on there. So it's the same thing, alright? So the same deal, over top of this, we're going to overlay a scale. Okay. So that scale is the same shape, except for now you need 4 fingers. Instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, now you need 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the fret is 12, it's your first finger. If the fret is 13, it's the second finger, 14, and then 15. So you get all 4 fingers. You're going to need to work with the tabs anyway for a while until you get these memorized. So definitely run your scales up and down, alternate picking. You can do hammer-ons and pull-offs. If you do sequences, however it is that you practice scales. If you don't have any techniques for practicing scales right now, like a routine that you go through, check out on our channel. I'm going to be uploading soon a video called How to Practice Scales with some techniques on how to do that. Once I do that, I'll put the link in the description here so you can go over to that. So that's caged pattern 1, and the root of this one is on the 5th string. So that's the C. This is the C. That's why I'm starting there and going upwards, and then lower, and then back up to the root C. So that's why I have the scale sort of written out like that. Now the benefit of that is if you're doing a song in the key of G, for example, you would find G on the A string, same deal, and you can move your chord and your scale to the key of G. So if you're playing a song in the key of G, then there you go, you can solo right there. Key of A, 12th fret. This is actually an interesting one if you're a Metallica fan. The song, The Call of Cthulhu, the last song on Ride the Lightning, there's a lick that goes... something like that goes there. And so... something like that. But anyway, that sequence coming down is just an A major scale, pattern 1, caged pattern 1, with some sequence put on there. You slow it down, it sounds like a scale exercise, because it is. It is a scale exercise that Kirk Hammett just kind of like used creatively. Alright, have fun with that. Ask me any questions and practice that scale until you have it drilled into your fingers and your brain. And then you can go from there and learn some more about soloing and theory and how to move it around to minor keys and modes and all that. We'll talk later.